Marc Márquez crashed at 192 kilometres per hour, bandaged his hand, and went out and went fastest. That happened on the same day, at the same circuit, on the same pair of hands. A highside at turn 10. One of the fastest corners on the circuit, over a crest into a sharp left-hander with almost no runoff, sent him through the gravel and into the air fence at full speed. The session was red-flagged. The Ducati garage froze. Medical officials went straight to him, and for a few minutes, everyone in the Austin paddock held their breath, wondering whether the reigning world champion had just lost his entire weekend before it had even started. He had not, but what happened next is harder to explain than the crash itself. This is not a story about a crash. It is a story about what a rider does after one. He went back to the garage on a scooter, left glove removed, bandages going on, medical officials waiting. Davide Tardozzi gave the first update to the paddock. Marc had a big hit on the right arm and left hand. There's nothing broken. It's just a skin problem. He can ride again, but for sure, it's painful. And then Márquez spoke. And the way he framed it said more about his mentality than any lap time this season. Today was completely my mistake. That turn 10 is one of the corners I like more and love, because it's one of the strong points of my riding style. You have a memory to do a corner in one mode, and on lap 3 to 4, I tried to make the corner like always, but I was not careful that on this circuit there are new bumps from one year to the other. Completely his mistake. No deflection. One sentence of explanation. And then he moved on. He changed his leathers, had his hand bandaged, and went back out with 10 minutes remaining in FP1. 9 laps, physically damaged, on a session already compromised, on a circuit that had just punished him at full speed. Not back out to complete formalities, not back out to show face, back out to set times. He finished 4th. Not 4th for someone who had crashed at 192 kilometres per hour. 4th overall, behind only riders who had been running uninterrupted from the start of the session. Same rider, same day. But here is where the story stops being about resilience and starts being about something much harder to explain. The afternoon session, the one that decides Q2 access and shapes the entire weekend. The session where the grid separates itself. Martin crashed, Di Gianantonio crashed, Bastianini crashed, Morbidelli crashed, Acosta crashed, Ogura crashed. 6 riders, 6 crashes. COTA was breaking up in the afternoon heat and taking anyone who pushed too far. The circuit was not distinguishing between champions and rookies. It was punishing everyone who found the edge equally. And Márquez, nursing neck pain, bandaged left hand, fewer laps than almost anyone due to the morning crash, came out and went fastest. Not fastest among those who hadn't crashed that morning, fastest overall, by 0.053 seconds over Ogura, with Bezzecchi in 4th. P1 on a Friday, where he had hit the wall at full speed before lunch. While every other rider was discovering where the limit was and paying the price, Márquez, the one man who had already paid the price that morning, was the only one who found it and came out in first place. After that crash, fastest overall. He did not pretend it had left no mark. The fact I hit the wall at high speed means I have a lot of pain in the neck and on the back. I will be able to ride, but I will struggle a bit more all weekend. Bandaged hand, bruised back. Neck stiffness from an air fence at speed. The physical damage is real, and he said so himself without any drama or deflection. And he is still the fastest man on the circuit. Both of those things are true at the same time. Most riders would have managed the afternoon, taken it steady, protected the body for Saturday. Márquez went out and set the benchmark for the entire field. Do you think Márquez going fastest after that crash is the sign of a champion at his absolute peak? Or is the physical toll something that could cost him on Sunday when it matters most? Drop your answer in the comments. Turn 10 is the detail that makes this impossible to process. Márquez calls it automatic mode. 13 years at this circuit. Muscle memory so deep that when the bumps shifted since last year, his body did what it always does before his mind could intervene. He arrived at that corner on lap 3 exactly as he has arrived at it for over a decade. The track had changed. His instinct had not. The automatic response sent him into the fence before conscious thought could override it. That is what 7 wins at one track does to a rider. It builds certainty so absolute that certainty itself becomes the danger. The experience that made him unbeatable at this corner is the same experience that put him in the air fence. His greatest strength at this circuit and his biggest vulnerability are the exact same thing. That is the paradox he carries into every single lap here. 7 wins here, and COTA keeps finding ways to punish him. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. He crashed from the lead in 2025. Dominant, fastest man on track, unable to finish the race he was controlling, and Bagnaia inherited the win. Bagnaia said it himself. I know this success is also due to Marc's crash. Today he was faster than anyone else. 2 years in a row, same circuit, same outcome. Márquez arrives as the favourite and the circuit finds a way to take it from him. Not through a rival, not through a strategy call, through the track itself. In 2025, it was a crash from the lead with the race in his hands. In 2026, it was a crash before a single timed lap had been set. Different moments, different sessions, same story. And yet here he is, fastest on Friday, body broken, Bezzecchi leading the championship, Aprilia building momentum at every round, and Márquez at the one place on the calendar that has always been his, reminding everyone he is still here, on a broken hand, in first place. Is Márquez's physical condition a genuine threat to his race result on Sunday? Or does this kind of resilience make him even more dangerous? And after crashing from the lead in 2025 and from FP1 in 2026, does COTA still belong to Marc Márquez? Or is this the year the circuit finally takes it from him? Drop your answers in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe. There is a lot more of this coming because most people, after hitting a wall at 192 kilometres per hour, go to hospital. Márquez went to Parc Fermé. In first place, broken hand, bruised back, stiff neck, and the fastest time of the day on a circuit that had already tried to end his weekend before it started. There is only one explanation for that, and it has nothing to do with motorcycles. It has to do with whatever it is that lives inside him that the rest of the grid simply does not have. And nobody, not Bezzecchi, not Bagnaia, not anyone leading this championship right now, has been able to find it yet.